everybody, it's been a little bit since I've made a video, and I'm coming to you today to make elk stew. My name is Trudy Nielsen, and I'm the Aboriginal Resource Teacher for School District 73, and I'm working here today on the Secwepemcúlecw, the territory of the Secwepemc people. So this elk came from an area not in the Secwepemcúlecw, but in the Princeton area, and it was caught by or hunted by a friend of mine, Carl, and his buddies. And so I was just really lucky to get it. He actually shares a lot of his wild game with me, and I just thought it would be a really fun recipe to share with you because it's, again, another easy recipe to make with just a few simple ingredients, and it's delicious. It's one of those recipes that my son actually enjoys too. He doesn't love a lot of different things, but he loves this home-cooked meal. So it's great for kids. So I've got, as I said, the elk. I've got about a pound of elk. I've got carrots, I've got an onion, and I've got some potatoes. So I chose these potatoes today because they're the little nugget potatoes, which would traditionally be about the size or maybe even a little bit smaller of the potato that we would harvest in this territory from Little Spring Beauties. So they're just really little potatoes. We're going to use a combination of yellow nugget potatoes and red nugget potatoes. We're also going to make some bannock to go with the stew, but we're going to start by chopping the onion. I've already peeled the onion and the potato. So I'm turning on my oil. I've just got a little bit of olive oil heating up in my skillet, and I'm just going to start chopping. So the onion, I'm going to dice, and don't judge my my dicing and chopping skills. I never went to cooking school or anything like that. Everything that I learned from my mom and my granny. So just slicing it down. And I know my fingers are in the way and I'm not using chef skills, but I've never chopped a finger off yet. So just dicing it up, getting it small to medium. So this is like a stew, like I said. It's just a really comforting, it's got like a gravy that ends up in it by the end. And it's just a really like family favorite. It's something that everybody in the family can enjoy, especially with the bannock. So let that heat up and chop. Oh, my eyes are watering. I think I will put that in a bowl. And then get chopping my carrot. And I'm just going to half my potatoes because they're already small and I don't want them to turn into mush. Although the potato does give that starch that helps to make it a bit thicker and a bit more of like a stew. My eyes are watering. But like I make it also all the time with just large regular sized potatoes. So I peel the large potatoes though when I make it. And again, when you're doing like root vegetables, you want to make your vegetables the same size so that they all cook evenly and turn out the same when it's all done. So I just got two carrots, and again the carrot is a tuber, so we could have traditionally used even like the balsam root or any kind of root vegetable, and the balsam root it was like a starchy root that would thicken a stew and make it nice and yummy. So I actually have some balsam root that I'm preparing for medicine. I'll show you. So this is balsam root that I have had steeping in. I'm just going to put that in olive oil for probably it's been about a month. Just going to let that saute. And it was only about this long and had a really thick bark on it, had sap on it, so I just, you have to take like a hammer and like smash it and then cut it all up. And I've got that seed thing, and it should be ready to drain here pretty quick. But the whole balsam root would have been used, or balsam flower was used, every single part of it was either food or medicine. So that I just have, and I'll probably do another video on that medicine making. I'll make that into a salve maybe later on this week. The other thing I have is a kettle of different teas that I made a little while ago. So I harvested soapberry, twigs, rose stems. What else do I have here? I have and cottonwood, dried cottonwood buds. So I have had that steeping in my kettle for probably just a few days. And I just add more water and more water, and just going to enjoy a cup of beautiful tea while I cook my dinner. So that's sweated out, and now I'm ready to put the elk in. So beautiful, eh? Nice, dark, rich red. And this I'm doing for the sake of just like a traditional meal, but if you don't have elk, you can use hamburgers. And a little salt and pepper, no crazy ingredients, just simple, easy, pantry ingredients. Okay, turn that up a little bit, and get my carrots put in this bowl. Again, you don't want everything too small or too big because I don't want it to just fall apart and become like nothing in the stew. You want that little piece. I mean, this you could even put in just like that, but I am going to half it. I'm not going to peel them, obviously. And I'll put the potatoes and the carrots in at the same time. So I'll put about half of the yellow nuggets and half of the red nuggets. And then when I've got that all chopped and ready to go, I'm going to start making the bannock. So the bannock is another recipe that is simple. It's just flour, baking powder, and salt and water. But of course, there's lots of different recipes for bannock. But this one I found is the most simple one for me to follow and not have too much trouble with. My little snarling little puppies here. They have to wash my hands up. Okay. I will wash them. So that's about half the golden potatoes, and I'm going to do half the red, and then I'm going to get my bannock out. So this is turning nice and brown. You have a good walk, baby girl? Hey, are you happy? Okay. That's getting nice and brown. Oh, one thing, I either, if I have it or I use it, if I don't, whatever, but this always gives a little nice flavor, the Worcestershire sauce. Just a couple of three little dollops of that. Mix it in. And that's looking good. So it doesn't have to be completely brown by the time you put your potatoes and carrots and onions in, but because it's going to continue to cook while I'm putting water. I put water in, or I can put stock. So today I just decided to put some stock in, but you can put water in just till it's covered, or stock. Either way, it's going to be really flavorful, but I thought today I would just make it extra flavorful by adding beef broth. If you don't have it, no big deal, just use water. And really that's like the kind of cook I am. I used to use a lot of recipes to learn how to cook, but now I have sort of my staples and I just make them my own after many times of cooking different recipes that my family loves. So, okay, this looks good. I'm going to turn it right down, and I'm just going to add the broth till it's covered. Okay. So it's almost looking like it's going to be a soup at this point, the whole container. And then go into vegetables. So just gently put them in and turn it up to a boil. And then once it comes to the boil, turn it right down to simmer. And the potatoes will start to give it that starch that will thicken it into more of like a gravy sauce or like a stew. And I'll just give you guys a little view of how it looks at this point. So it's just covered and all the veggies are in there, and it's just going to cook for not even half an hour. Like if I bring it up to the boil, oh, it's got a lot of potatoes in there. I think I'll maybe just put a few of my red potatoes in there. I have a few in this, but that should be good. Okay, save these for later. Okay, now for the bannock. So I'm first of all going to I have the wrong burner on. I was meant to turn my kettle on, but I ended up turning on my pan. So I'm just going to give it a second there. So I'm not putting too much oil in. I'm just putting in enough oil just to sort of cover the bottom. And then give my counter a little wipe. And then by the time I've got this all mixed, the oil should be nice and hot. Okay. So this regular flour, and it's easy recipe. It's 3 cups flour, 3 tablespoons baking powder, 1/2 a teaspoon of salt, and 2 cups of water. So this is just a 1/2 cup, so I'm just going to go 1/2, 1, 1/2, 2, 1/2, 3. And then I like this recipe because it's so easy to remember. It's like, oh, is it 4 cups of flour and 2 tablespoons of baking powder? It's 3, and then half salt. So again, this is a half tablespoon because I'm not really a baker, as I mentioned before, and so I don't have proper sets of measuring tools. Okay, half, 1, half, 2, half, 3, and then salt. I have no nails. Half a teaspoon of salt. There. And then the water, 2 cups of water. It needs to be warm water. So that's an important part of it. It has to be warm. So my stew isn't quite boiling yet, but it's getting pretty hot. And then what I'm going to do is put the lid on slightly and let it simmer. Okay. Warm water. Half. One. Half. 2. So there's the batter. I'm just going to mix it up. And the really important thing is to not overmix and basically not knead at all. It's just make sure it gets into a lump, and then don't play with it too much because it'll just turn them into hard little pucks. So just get it mixed basically. Okay. Okay. I'm going to wash my hands down. And the stew is starting to boil. Oh, it's going to be good. And I think I will add a little bit more salt and pepper. This is a mix of both. And then get my lid out. And my oil is starting to look like it's getting hot. I think you might give it a touch. Oh, it's getting hot. Okay. That's because I had it heating up. I'll turn it down a little bit. Okay, so that's boiling. I'm going to let it boil just for a couple more minutes. Or like a minute before it boils over. Okay, so as I said, don't over mix your dough. And then that's how it looks. So I'm just going to kind of make it into one, like that. And then just start to take, and I have only a small pan right now, so I'm just going to, don't play with it, just pull it and nice it in. Get one more in there. Don't play with it, just pull it. Make sure it's pretty much even. And I just had enough oil just to cover the bottom of the pan so it wasn't too big. And I've got these. My oil was too hot. Yeah, it was too hot. So it's cooking too fast, but the other ones are going to be too bad. So I've got it right down low now. And I'm going to turn this right down and just kind of partially cover it so that it's just a little bit uncovered, like that. And I think, want my oil to just be a little bit cooler. So it was cooked too quickly, but that's okay. It was a little test run. That was my fault because I thought I was cooking tea. But I am going to cook some tea. Okay, so I'm going to take that out. That one is not going to be very good. And I'm going to get a tray ready. I'm actually going to take this one out. That one isn't bad. But that cooked really quickly, so we're just going to try that one again. Okay, this should be a better temperature now. Again, just going to not even, just kind of pull it into little, like that. That's better. And another one, just little ones. And it's not bad. And we'll get these ones ready. My puppies are all pooped up. They're sleeping. Oh, they're so cute. Okay, there's one. Ooh, they're fluffing out. Okay, so that was better. That was a better temperature. Yeah, way better. My dad will be happy today when he gets elk stew and bannock. Okay, just kind of pull it into a nice little circle. So yeah, that's actually, and I like that recipe because it doesn't make too much, like for a family of, a few people. And my parents live next door, so I like to make a little bit extra for them sometimes. But I don't like to have too much bannock because it just gets kind of hard if you don't eat it within a day. Mine does anyway. I'm still learning. I'm hoping to perfect it. But I just only started making bannock like a month and a half ago, so. And I'll try different recipes. Like I've tried, this is only my second recipe now. And there's ones with yeast and there's different ones. So, and then of course there's the Cree style, which I think you bake, which I'll probably give that one a try. Okay, oh yeah, these are not too bad. Give it a few more seconds. And then give my, oh, this is coming along nicely. Yeah, it's thickening up. I don't even think it'll take a half an hour, although the longer you cook it, I mean, the mushier it gets if you're just gonna let it go and go and go, but flavor, right? Okay, these look good. Let's try putting these ones in. Oh, that's a good temperature. It's just bubbling away without splattering everywhere. Lovely. Okay, and then, so there's a couple of different ways that I also help my stew along to make it thick and gravy yummy. You can either use just like a little jar of flour water, which will help to thicken it, but if I have it, I use just like a gravy mix. Doesn't matter, turkey, beef, whatever you got, that'll thicken it in a nice way. So however you like to make your gravy, but like this is easy and it really gives it that flavor and makes it really nice and gravy-like. But I'll add that closer to the very end. I'm going to turn it up a little bit just to get that boil on there and cook for those potatoes. Turn this oil up because I turned it right down so it's getting a little bit cool. But these aren't too bad. I mean, just little mini ones. Put a little butter on there and they're not hockey pucks, or crackers, which I've seen happen. Okay, making some tea. Okay, so I think what I'm going to do is just let this cook for a little bit and clean up a little bit, and then I will come back to you guys when it's closer to being done. Okay, see you soon. Hi again, we're back. And the stew, the potatoes are nice and soft, the carrots are nice and soft, they haven't fallen apart, and it's ready for the gravy packet. So as I said before, you could do this with a little bit of flour and water mixed together and just pour it in there, and that'll make a nice thickener. But I just like this because it's easy and it's yummy. So it's a boiling away, and actually I turned the heat up a little bit because I just wanted it to boil just a little bit more to cook those potatoes. And so I'm going to show you how it actually looks before I put the gravy in, or before you thicken it. It's stew-like, but I just like it to have that real gravy consistency. So I just put the whole pack in, and it takes literally like a couple minutes to thicken, and then it's done. Mix it in there really good. Oh, it's looking amazing. Everybody gonna be happy. My son, my dad, me. And I like to have it with like bread or bannock. But if you don't want to make bannock, you can just put it on a piece of bread or have it with a piece of bread and butter. We grew up with it always on top of our starch, our bread or whatever. So kind of like an Indian taco, actually, almost. It's just like a stew on top of bannock. Or you could just have bannock on the side and dip it, but I like to put it right on top, so it gets all inside the bannock and it gets it all gravy-like. So right away that's thickening, and I'll just give that like a minute or something. I'll just let that simmer. Tea is ready, so I can have elk stew and bannock and tea. See that nice color? Smells so lovely too. Oh, it smells like medicine. So I have rose twigs, soapberry twigs, dried cottonwood buds, and I think I might have even put a little bit of balsam blossom in there. And it's a nice dark color because I've been letting it steep for a couple days. Oh, it just tastes so good, so good. keeps you healthy. And actually the lady that I learned how to make the teas from, she drinks a different tea for a different body system every month. So for example, if she's drinking for her heart or her cardiovascular system, 1 month she'll drink that tea that promotes that health every day for a month. The next month she wants to drink for her brain health. She'll drink teas that promote brain health all month long. And she just switches it up every month for different systems in her body, for her skin, for her blood, whatever. It just switches as life goes on, which is a really nice thing to do. Okay, that should be good. And I was also going to say something about the elk. Oh yeah. So my friend that goes hunting for this, for everybody, we can't hunt elk in Tacoma because they disappeared for quite a while because they were overhunted, not necessarily by the Tacoma people, but by just everybody that was hunting around here. And slowly but surely they've been coming back, so we don't want to hunt them still around here because we want them to come back to this territory, because traditionally they were hunted in this area, and then they disappeared. So this is looking nice and thick. I think I'll give it about 30 more seconds, but I'll get my bannock ready. So the bannock I've just had keeping warm, and I think I'm just going to have a little piece. So I got this little piece, and one way that's easy to do it so that you don't have to like cut through the bannock is, when the stew is on top of it, is just to sort of pre-cut it. So you could butter it, of course, and then you can just either like whatever, rip it apart into little, it's not bad, bite-sized pieces. Just makes it easier when you go to eat it. Little bite-sized pieces, and then pour the stew right on top. Okay, this is good. Okay, so I'm going to put that there. You see, it's nice and thick and lovely. Okay, one more stir, and then scoop it on and have my tea and elk stew and bannock for lunch. I love the little potatoes in there, and I just think that's how it would have been traditionally, because the potatoes that grow around here are just little bulbs. The spring beauties. Okay. You want lots of gravy on there. A little bit of carrot. Oops. And lots of gravy and elk. One more carrot. There we go. So that is elk stew with potatoes, carrots, onions, and bannock. So hope everybody tries it. And again, if you can't get your hands on elk, you can use hamburger. But if you've got elk or moose or deer ground, then you can try this. Okay. Hope you enjoyed this.